Same corner. No, not same corner. Sorry, exit Viscaria. Spa shot's also gone. But he is P4.
Yeah, there's yellow flags everywhere. His teammate AMS Pred for this week. Oh, there is. Yeah, there's a stricken racing point. Binary's going slow, so let's have a look.
Yeah. Who's actually going for a lap then? Superb Cam, who has backed out of it.
I've gone for AMS Pred just because he's starting a lap now. He has Binary IX just behind him as well.
Whoa! Pred...
Oh, he's...
Wow, okay. That came out of nowhere.
I thought it said outlap for him.
It said outlap. Well, okay. So it said outlap and he's gone quicker than... Fair enough.
So Pred laying down a marker. He might he's not in the Racing Point team. He's just in that because it's the reserve team. He is incredibly quick at the moment. Is Pred. I know how good Pred is around Monza as well. I completely forgot how quick he was. Nutters was saying he was 6/10 up on his time as well. So I think when Nutters is racing as well, I think it's going to be a huge battle between himself, his teammate, who's looking absolutely rapid, Jolly and Pred, and you can kind of count actually anyone from PA upwards. Really, you can put into that mix. Pred, I'm going to go.
Hang on, let's go on board. Jolly came out the pits late. I was thinking, is he going to make it round?
I don't know, Simple Chris. Let's go on board of a Red Bull. We haven't had a look at a Red Bull for a while. He's going through Ascari just now and heading through, getting to the last corner, so he should be setting a pretty solid time up, I think. But it's quite a close-knit group, I think, at the moment. Out of the top 10, I know it's about a second as Lightshot. Oh, Simple Chris darts in, so he wasn't happy with that lap. Nade 74, his teammate. Let's have a look at him. We banged on about him a couple of weeks ago, and he was not able to produce at Monaco. But it is Monaco, such a difficult track to produce. He's going to have a nice toe coming in as well, and he goes P4.
The track's really starting to pick up, isn't it? Who else is following him now? I think everybody's pretty much got to come on.
Or I spoke too much and he's just
I'm not muted. I'm not muted.
So that is the checkered flag flown for marking the end of qualifying. Jolly is on a lap. Bamba Viking is on a lap. The stream. And he only goes P3. He knocks his teammate out of P3. Nade might go for another lap. Where is Straka? Let's go on board of Straka. Is he just ahead? I think he's just ahead of the next train of people coming through. Maybe Light Shock, Neil's 998, and Light Shock. He's down. He's down in P14 at the moment. So interesting stuff there. Boris Letterbox out early on. Binary P11. He's pitting Leclerc P4, and Straka's gone off. So it's down to, is it Superb Cam who's now gone off as well? So it's his teammate who's actually with him. Jolly. Where is Light Shock on track? He's got plenty of issues. Oh, okay. So I can't hear.
I'm not muted.
I can't hear Light Shock for some reason.
I'm not muted.
No, not Light Shock. Wardell. Ha. This is going to make commentary very interesting. This is very
interesting because you can't hear a word. I could say anything,
but I can't really. So I've got to show the end. So Jolly wasn't able to produce a faster time. Pred wasn't able. Oh, I hear something.
Oh, is it good or is it nothing?
I have Wardell. It's fine.
You do? Oh, don't know what happened, but it's good.
Ah, good old Microsoft, good old Twitch.
I've never had
good
that
old
before.
Technology. No, it was going to make commentary for the race incredible because just talk over each other constantly. That would have been.
I could literally say anything that you wouldn't know.
No. I wouldn't recommend it. No, I will listen back. So we will go through the positions for qualifying. Obviously, that technical issue at the end caused problems, but it's AMS Pred in the racing point in pole position, followed closely by Jolly, in the Mercedes. Bamba Viking in the Haas is P3. Niels 998 P4. Nutters 91 P5. P6 is Nade 74. P7 is AMS Sparshot. P8 is Stracker 11. Sinful Chris is 9th. 10th is Superb Cam. Obi-Wan Mahomey, Binary, F1 Leclerc, SRT Fury, TOR Pepsi, Light Shock 16 and Boris Letterbox fill out the rest of the grid. Incredible. Leclerc's just said in the chat that he's bottled it. A lot of pressure, a lot of easy positions to corner car here. Any surprises out there in qualifying for you?
Well, I think Bamba still finished very high up, didn't he, compared to usual? I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of forgotten where the order was. I'm not great at this, but yeah, I mean, last time I saw Bamba was P4, so I mean, I'm pretty sure he went down a bit further from there. But
Bamba P3.
He's P3, so he's okay, even better than I thought. So yeah, I mean,
Nutters ended up P6, I think.
Well, so Nutters being there, obviously he did crash out, so it's unfortunate, but you know, he's clearly got good pace. And yeah, I mean, Bamba Viking, he's been there or thereabouts, but not right at the front, so this is going to be pretty good to see.
His race pace has always been a worry for me. And obviously starting on pole for Pred as well, that's a worry. You're going to get swamped into turn one. You've got no toe to defend yourself, which could be the advantage Jolly. I did see Jolly go straight into the pits. I'm not sure if he was faster on that last lap. He could be thinking ahead to try and go up the inside line of Pred into turn one.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, you have to get a really, really good launch, otherwise it's all, like you said, you're just going to get absolutely swamped. But I mean, Pred could hold him off. If he does get a good start and takes the right defensive line into turn one, as we saw as we see in real life, you can defend quite well, especially if you end up going around the outside of turn one for some reason. You just get a better run out of there, or turn two even. You get a better run out of the chicane and can just have better exit speed, meaning you sort of carry more or build up speed quicker through Curva Grande.
Plenty of options. I'm trying to think who else could, Light Shock being so far down, Boris being so far down. Different strategies could be key for this Grand Prix.
And there will be. I mean, Nutters saying, it's all going to be about managing errors. That's also going to come into it hugely because you can maybe push for a lap or two and then you're just going to have to be saving so much. And because so much of it's straights, I mean, I guess you save it all in Sector 2, but then you're going to use it all again by the time you come back round, or you're going to have to use more than you've saved. So it's just going to be really who can do that well, and that's going to play into strategy hugely as well. Because if you have a slower tyre through the corners, you're not going to really want to sacrifice that. But then what else do you really have to rely on? Because straight line speed isn't going to be any better or worse than anybody else.
I think what I'd do is, as soon as I get to turn one, I'd throw it into low. I'd risk being low from turn one up until the Lesmos, maybe even halfway down that straight. That gets you into Ascari, and then throw it back up. So the two longest straights of the circuit, you've got more errs. But there's a reason why I'm a commentator and not a racer. And that could very well be it. Still waiting for the drivers to ready up.
It's been quite a long time, isn't it?
Get going. Yeah. I think maybe a few pit stops for the drivers themselves, let's say, are occurring. Trying to think. No Mercedes teammate for Jolly. There's Light Shock readying up.
I didn't see the total much from teammates as well, which I was quite surprised by. I would have expected there to be, well, I mean, it's such a big thing in real life. I would kind of expected it to be a thing here because it does obviously make a difference. I did not see it being used by anyone.
want to have a look down the grid, see what's going on. I hope I get a better... Oh, I was going to say, I hope I get voice, some
sound.
Game sound then, because the game, there was nothing. So, to run down the order again, just quickly, it's AMS Pred from Jolly, to Bamba Viking from 998, Nutters, Nade 74, AMS Sparshot, Stracker 11, Sinful Chris, and Superb Cam. They're your top 10. The others, they do count. We do care about them, but it's going to be such a difficult thing to keep up with. And look at that, everyone outside of the top 10, medium compound tyre. What's your take on that?
I missed what you said, but I think I know what you said because my controller died. I mean, I think you said the top 10 all on softs and below that all on medium. So, I don't know how long the medium goes for. I'm assuming it's not that far off of half distance. Whereas the softs...
Jolly nearly loses it, the same place as Nutters lost it in the qualifying. So that is going to be a danger corner. The second Lesmo, coming out of the second Lesmo.
Definitely.
If championship leader Jolly... Yes.
Well, it's not really an overtaking opportunity, but yeah, I mean, if they're all pushing through there, we could have a complete repeat of what happened to Nutters. And if it happens in the race and the car doesn't go quickly enough, how many other cars are going to be caught up in that?
Wow. We're having Boris Letterbox. I'm looking at Boris because he's so far behind, or he was so far behind the rest of the grid. You do wonder if he's doing this on purpose, just to hold everyone up. Just while on the grid, they are just a little bit more edgy, I think is the best way to describe it, because that does happen. You know, you sat there for a long period of time, sometimes, and it can throw people off and give them bad starts. But quick mention, who do you think's going to win? Because I love jinxing people.
Just say Jolly, because of the races he's been having at the moment, but Brett's in with a shot there. I mean, he's got good pace in qualifying. If he can carry that through to the race, it's really got to see what everybody can do. It's going to be close.
I don't want to jinx the guy, but I'm going to say Nutters.
Well,
but we're going to go... so, here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, maybe. Come on, where are the lights? And away, well, there we go, we're away. It seems like quite a good start for Bamba Viking. He's going to get Jolly quite early on. There's a bit of nightmare out the back, and there's a Red Bull off the track as well. And it looks like Nade 74 is doing a good job of holding his position. Stracker's gone down a little bit. Nutters has gone down as well, so I've definitely jinxed him. But Jolly's managed to hold position in P2 around just sticking to the back of the racing point of Pred. Bit further down, F1XL has gone to last place, so not a great day for him. Jolly is going to do all he can to get past that racing point early on, and Stracker and Sparshot are going side by side. It looks like there's a bit of damage. Let's go have a look down there. There's 3 wide coming into the Lesmo, and it's Superb Cam that gets away with it. Have I missed anything from the start, Wardell?
You know how you said you don't want to jinx anyone? Nutters is now down in 14th. But yeah, no, there was that Leclerc with an incident through the first couple of corners, and it was just kind of a mess as everybody bunches together. I mean, everyone, he's just tagged the back of Fury.
That's not great at all.
Basically stops in his story. Pepsi's had to avoid it.
Well.
Has Fury got damage too?
I'm not sure. It looks like he might have front wing damage from an earlier. No,
from
both
here,
end plates are there.
Doesn't.
Stracker's going to go around the outside.
I believe.
He's still, but that's a point. Fury's on the slower compound tyre. This is why it's important for everyone to get past him now. Nutters back up to P12, so 3 wide going into turn 1. Sinful Chris, Stracker, who's going to have the balls and brake later? Stracker's had to miss the corner. A 10-second time penalty, so I think he's just going to go on from that and not let him back past. I'm not sure that's the cool thing to do, but I think it's the only thing he really can do. Binary's trying to keep up in touch as well in P11, trying to get some points. Battle at the front, I don't want to go just yet. Fury has now been, he's squeezing Sinful Chris around the first Lesmo. Can he get him? Sinful Chris backs out again. Will he have him coming into the DRS straight. Obviously the DRS straight isn't activated just yet, but Simple Chris is on the better tyre. He's not making a move, so straight line speed for SLT Fury is definitely up there at the moment.
Yeah, there could just be a difference in setups here. I don't know who's really going to run, because you can run the lowest downforce, so you can run slightly more. I mean, Chris is going on the outside into Parabolica. Is he going to pull it off? Fury has to brake a lot earlier, and I think Chris has got past, but it's still really close, and obviously Fury's just going to have to sit behind and slipstream, and I think he's going to get past again. Although it's so close without DRS.
So DRS will be activated for the rest of the lap. Obviously not this point. Simple Chris goes a bit defensive, but everyone else is now bunching up, and Stracker hasn't actually got too far away from this battle in front. So I am going to go on board with Jolly because
has he gone for it? He's done it as well down the inside. That was a goal. Sorry to jump in. I know you just said you were going on to it. I just saw Jolly alongside, and he's gone for it, and now Pred's just got to make sure he doesn't disappear.
That's Pred's one and only thing to do. Nade 74, I'm really impressed. He's doing incredible. He's got DRS on Bamba Viking, and Pred not looking like he's going to make a move up the inside, but look how close Nade 74 is to that Haas. It is incredible. Bamba Viking's got to have a lot of work to do. 998 is there as well to pick up any pieces, but I think Nade 74 might have him trying to go around the outside of the Parabolica, and Nade 74 I think picks up the DRS coming onto the start finish straight, so he's going to have optimum position here. Let's have a look. Oh god, what am I doing? There we go. It's looking pretty easy. Quite a nice manoeuvre there from Nade 74. Bamba Viking actually locks up, so very, very difficult for him not to hit the Red Bull. Bamba now, Nade now has to get a Jolly on, I think is the best way to describe it, because Jolly is starting to try and dominate this Grand Prix.
Well, Pred went down the inside into the first, I'm not sure whether it was down the inside. He overtook into the first corner, and Jolly did take him back. So, I mean, I looked at the gap, it didn't look like there was going to be an opportunity, but Fred's done it, and I mean, he's still right there. He's just, again, got to stick there, because he's done the fastest lap the last 2 laps. So Pred's just got to make sure that Jolly doesn't get away, and he's doing that at the moment. Is he going to go for a move into Ascari?
It's looking like he's going to. He drops back into it. There's a nice battle for P4 now. Bamba Vikings struggling from... as Nade 74 nearly loses it as well, as does 998. So Pred, will he do anything coming up the inside of Parabolica? He's just going to sit behind. Defensive goes Nade 74 as well, so he knows how fast or how overpowered Slipstream and DRS is here, but I'm going to keep on board with Pred as he's looking to go around the outside into turn 1, and it looks like it's a relatively easy move as Bamba Viking retakes into P3.
He does, he locked it massively, but he already had the line, so Nade couldn't do anything about it. The slipstream and DRS is so overpowered. There's just nothing you can really do if you're behind, or ahead even. Oh, you got yellows, who's that?
Has Stracker gone off?
Oh, in turn 1, yeah. He's facing backwards, so contacts, and he's retired from the race. So I don't know what's
happened. I don't know if that was Boris Letterbox. I don't want to say his name, but I think he was. They were close to positions there. Why is his car still going? Okay, right. That's fine. Let's go back on board with the battle for the leaders. Nade 74 is all over the back of Bamba Viking. And as is Niels 998, as is Superb Cam over AMS Sparshot 2P6. And Sparshot's looking like he's trying to get back into it. That's a little bit of a late lunge. Pred has lost back position, maybe to Jolly. And that's going to be battle that keeps on raging as well, as is the battle for P3. As the Ferrari is now all over the back of the Red Bull. Pred is going, again, identical move that he did the last lap. Jolly will just sit in behind Bamba Viking. And Niels 998 is past Nade 74, and Nade 74 is not having it. He's trying to go around the outside and near on an impossible move. It's a great little bit of driving from the Red Bull guy, but it's not on this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, the battle for third, this is going to be... I think this is going to go on the entire race. Who's that? Is that Light Shot? Because the Light Shot's gone on. And I think... Who else is involved there? Is that TRL Pepsi? No. I don't know who else is involved there.
I think that might have been Boris Letterbox or SLT Fury. I did notice that those moved up and down, but there doesn't look like there doesn't seem to be any damage on the Williams car. But unfortunately, I'd love to stay on him a little bit longer.
Spar Shot's gone.
The Spar Shot's gone.
Oh, it strings the wall out of the first Lesmo. It's so easy to do. I mean, Hamilton did it back in 2009. He did the exact same thing, so here's how easy it is to do. The Racing Point's
running in a nice
such a good job,
as well.
They're doing so. I mean, Pred currently leading. Special, yeah, P7. So Racing Point doing really well. Not one of them in a wall.
So it looks like Jolly has decided to not overtake before the Parabolica and see if he can grab the slipstream off the Racing Point. 6 lap old tyres now they're on. Jolly goes up the inside and tries to get back onto the racing line. It looks like he's going to looks like he's locked that front right tyre up massively, trying to defend the position. And it'll be interesting to see if Pred will do anything about that. He lost a bit of time, I think, Jolly. So, but he's just dropped too far off, hasn't he? 998, Neil's 998 is looking very rapid.
He is, and he's already pressing on Bamba right now through the first Lesmo. I don't know whether he just has better straight line speed or not, but he's got good pace regardless of what it's doing. And Bamba Viking's got a bad exit, so Neil's probably going to get him before Ascari. He's going to go around the outside. That's brave. If they're going side by side through the corner.
Very, very brave. I don't think Bamba's got anything to defend off him.
No.
That is incredible by the Ferrari driver. Can he close the gap and get into the battle for the lead?
Great. Can he? I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to say it too soon, but could he snatch a little win here at Monza in a Ferrari?
That would be incredible. He's got a lot of work to do. First he's got to defend from the Haas and the Red Bull behind. Let's quickly go on board with the Racing Point of AMS Pred. Has he got anything in the locker? Up the inside, maybe. Will he go for it? He doesn't. He drops his DRS early as well. Bamba looks like he's going to retake P3, but he doesn't. He goes wide, and he's let Nade 74 through, and it's a complete change around in positions for those guys. 998 now is in P3. Nade 74 P4 and Bamba Viking P5. Bamba's going to be absolutely disgusted with himself with that. Maybe disgusted is a bit of a harsh word, but Nutters is doing pretty well. He's back up to P7.
Yeah, it's a good job after what happened at the start. And wait, Nade, he's all over the back of Niels already. I guess this battle is just so close. I mean, I saw the straight line speed difference between Pred and Jolly was 16 miles per hour, so that's just how extreme the slipstream and DRS is. That's just how much of a disadvantage you are if you're in front. So,
as much as I'd love to stick with this battle for P1 and 2, the battle for P3, 4, 5 is now getting maybe P6 as well, because Superb Cam is coming in as well. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. There's battles all down the field at the moment as well. Binary trying to take Fury.
Oh, I'd love to go onto that. And into the pits, Nade 74 makes the first jump. He's into the pits. Will he go onto hards or mediums? I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is. But it's now time for 998 and Superb Cam and Bamba Viking to start getting a wiggle on. It is hard tyres for Nade 74. He's the first one to blink. And he's dropped down. He's massively dropped down the order. So you can just see how much difference, how close these guys are. I think the only one that's really out of it, unfortunately, is Obi-Wan Mahomey.
Yeah, I mean...
And we've also missed Pred overtake Jolly as well.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much going to happen every single lap. Unless one of them makes a mistake, it's probably just going to be Pred and Jolly just swapping places repeatedly. I mean, Jolly's dropped back probably to charge up a bit. And then he's just going to... He's almost 8 tenths back, and in one straight, he's made up 2 tenths of that. That's not even a particularly long straight.
No, Pred seems to have maybe
He's
this is Jolly's plan. Maybe he's going to pit this lap. He's dropped off a little bit, and see if Pred pits. If Pred pits, then he'll follow. I think either way, I think Jolly might pit this lap.
Yep.
Look at that.
Oh, binary's gone. Sorry to cut off.
Foreshadowing. Oh no.
I don't know who is fighting with. The last time I saw it was SLT Fury. He's just lost it out of Ascari, but he's recovered, and I assume he's just going to pit the front wing and probably hard tyres.
Everyone is now pitting. Where is Nade? Nade is the one to watch out for. Jolly, I think, is going to have plenty of room from that battle. Neil's 998, but I've got to actually go on board with Nade 74. Is he going to do anything? Was going into the pit a lap earlier has not helped him at all. He's still behind 998.
Oh, but it's very close, isn't it?
998 has gone on to medium compound tyres, so Nade has, maybe made the wrong decision here. Or have the others made the right decision?
Or it's, I mean, it's alright. Well, in the actual race, Leclerc went into the hards and had the tyre for the whole rest of the race, whereas the Mercedes just completely ran out on the mediums. So that's potentially what could happen here. As Leclerc gets in the middle of that, as a disconnected car, his car hadn't ghosted. But it hasn't seemed to make too much of a difference. Nade's still right there.
And now it's jumped back up. His car's now P9 again. I don't understand that. Anyway, so let's have a look at Jolly. Let's go with Jolly, because I think Fred might be pitting. He has pitted. So best bet is to have a look at Jolly, see what Jolly does. He's had a lap on those, a fresh set of tyres. I think everyone else apart from Nutters is pit. Nutters is confident. So Jolly's gone a little bit wide out through Parabolica. Oh god, where is the racing point? The racing point is just coming out of the pits now. Jolly's going to definitely have the advantage going into turn 1, and it has worked. Going into the pits a lap early has worked for Jolly to get back past the racing point of AMS Pred. But it's not race over yet at all, not by a long shot. These two have been passing each other in and out for, pretty much since lap 1. So plenty still to play for here in the Monza Grand Prix, hasn't it?
There is. Pred just made a little bit of a mistake as well. So I think he's pushing. He's pushing to catch Jolly now, because that undercut has worked. I think it's worked pretty much for everybody. Oh, Neil's almost lost it. I've just gone back on board with him, seeing him going sideways towards a wall, but he saved it. But Nate is within the second that he needs to get DRS, and he's caught. It's only about half a second now, and he's got all the straights to come.
So Nade is doing well. He's got older lap tyres, but they're the harder compound. So towards the end of the race, Nade still can come back into this race. That would be amazing if he does. Nutters is now pit. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out at the end of all this. Obviously struggling at the start of the Grand Prix and in qualifying. Nothing from Nade into Niels in down the start finish straight. Bamber Viking's still there as well. Let's have a look at Nutters. He's come out in front of Sinful Chris, who he was battling with. So interesting strategy from Sinful Chris as well, because he's gone onto the hards at the same time as everyone else has gone onto the mediums.
Yeah, I really don't know if that's the right call, but I don't know. They're going to be able to push every single lap on those hards, but the mediums not necessarily. So it might work out better, but I don't know. Both Red Bulls have decided that the hard is the better option.
Something in the Red Bull camp that we don't know about, which is interesting, to say the least. Just seeing.
It's also going to be interesting to see where the guys who started on the mediums, where they are actually going to finish, because Jolly's only 11 seconds behind Boris, who's currently leading on the track, not actually in the net lead, of course, but it's pretty good. I mean, they're all battling, so well, apart from Boris, they're pretty much all battling, so they're not helping themselves.
Interesting, interesting developments in F2. It is a full wet race, so we are we are happy that it is dry here in F1. Boris, light shot, Pepsi, Fury, obviously on the alternate strategy. Is it going to work for them? Is that going to work? Are they going to be a force to reckon with at the end of the Grand Prix?
I don't know. I think they may have just lost too much time at this beginning or section of the race. I think Boris is far enough ahead at the moment that it might be okay, but and Lightshock's actually beginning to pull away a little bit too. But I mean, TR Pepsi and SRT Fury. I mean, Jolly's right at the back of Fury. Sorry, not yeah. So I mean, there's Jolly and there's Pred. They're all coming through. But again, this is this is on track position, so they don't have to get out of the way. So this could hurt Jolly, or it could help him massively. I mean, he's going to have a slipstream, but through the corners, he's going to have a lot less downforce.
Yeah, so he's right behind. Superb Cam's gone. What's happened to
Again,
Superb
Ascari.
Cam? He's lost it. Wow, it's going to happen to everyone tonight, but let's go back on board as it's a virtual safety car. So people are this is going to be absolutely amazing news for the likes of Lightshock, Pepsi and Fury, because they are oh no, Fury receives a 5-second penalty, stop go penalty, and I think Pepsi receives a drive-through penalty.
What was that for speeding in the pit lane?
Yeah, I think Fury hit Pepsi in the back and just knocked him over too fast.
So that will
still
surely become a ticket.
It's difficult to get rid of a drive-through penalty though. This virtual safety car has come into the pits. Pred has actually gained a little bit of time off Jolly on that one, so Jolly is going to have a lot of defending to do on the straight after the Lesmos. Niels 998 has made a little bit of ground on Nade 74, so he's still 4 seconds behind this battle for what could very well be net lead as Jolly receives a 3-second time penalty. That is huge in this battle.
It is a look what Pred has. Pred has 2 warnings, so he's not far off himself of actually getting a penalty. So it's not over for Jolly at all. But there's still time. I mean, Jolly's now got to hope that Pred. He's either got to try to pull away by 3 seconds, which I can't really at this point can't really see happening, or he's got to hope that Pred gets a penalty.
And then he's got to hope that he doesn't get another penalty. Obviously, he's halfway through the Grand Prix and he's got himself a penalty as Pred takes net lead of the Grand Prix again from Jolly. Still squabbling away are these two. Giving Boris a little bit of a breathing space, 9 seconds up in front of him. Obviously, Boris is on nearly dead, medium compound tyres. He'll be looking to pits in a couple of laps' time. Jolly again, not cutting the corner, but taking liberties either, but trying to get as much of the ground as possible between him and Pred, fighting away. Obviously, if Vidal was here as well, I think this would be an incredible battle at the top. I'm really gutted that Nutters isn't involved as well. I hate jinxing people, but I've done it again, haven't I?
It always happens, doesn't it? It's just unlucky for Nutters, really. I mean, not entirely sure what happened, but yeah, I mean, it happens.
Unfortunately, it does, but here we come. Here comes Jolly again down the start-finish straight. Will the position between these two change hands yet again?
I was about to say, look at how Pred doesn't fight that, but he almost did. Into the first part of that chicane, he almost did fight Jolly. But I could have been noticing they've been going past each other and not really putting up any amount of a fight, because they know that if they do, they're just going to get caught from behind. They're not They know that by just using the slipstream to just go past, follow it, and then overtake again next lap, then they're just going to keep pulling on the cars behind, as well as carrying on with their pace in this battle. Why is the yellows? It's binary again. Out of Ascari.
Binary is unfortunately really struggling. I feel so sorry for Binary. Obviously, the change of assists, he's struggling with it. He's still quick, but it's not going his way at all. Jolly is now having to defend yet again from Pred. Obviously, last lap it was the other way around. Will Pred do anything coming into Ascari? He does not, but he is close to do something on the start-finish straight. And it's not Ascari, sorry, it's a Parabolica.
Is he going to get him? He's going to get him, yeah, close enough. Even though Jolly does do the fastest lap, there is just so much of a difference in slipstream. Jolly's doing 203, while Pred there was doing 216. So there's a 13 miles per hour difference. That's just how powerful this is.
It is. It's absolutely incredible, but they are now pulling away from the Ferrari, and actually, looking at it, 998 isn't really pulling away from Nade. So, towards the end of this Grand Prix, Nade is going to be in a really strong position. Let's have a look at the other compound runners out there. Light Shock is on hard, so he's down in P9. He's Simple Chris is on hard, he's P8. Boris Letterbox, he's come into the pits now, so he is now on softs. I thought he was going to stay out for another lap, so he's quite a way away from this battle. Let's have a little look from the it's only 15 seconds away from the lead of this Grand Prix.
I don't know if it's doable. Actually, he's got 10 laps, so if his pace is that much better, he could do something here. He could. I don't know if he can sneak a podium, but he's got to clear quite a few cars, but it's possible. And also, I just kind of worked out that if Pred and Jolly keep swapping once a lap, then Pred will be on the lead coming for the final lap. So Jolly's got to break that train.
And you wonder if Jolly might just not do anything into this corner.
Well, he has.
And sit back.
So if they keep swapping now, it's now Jolly who will lead on the final lap.
And you wonder if this is now going to become a maths game, and maybe we'll see what happened in qualifying in real F1 at Monza this weekend happen between these two, and it will be detrimental.
No, you go first. No, you go first. No, you. No, you go first.
But let's have a quick rundown of what things. Leclerc is entering the pits. So we've lost 3 drivers: Superb Cam, AMS Sparshot, and Straka R11. Up 10 places is Boris Letterbox. Up 7 places is Light Shock. So some really good movers up there at the moment. But let's keep looking at this battle, because this battle is going to rage on until the end of the Grand Prix. I'm sure of it. Nade has dropped behind Bamba Viking now. So Nade, I think, has made a mistake somewhere on track, and obviously struggling a little bit to keep up with everyone on the hard compound tyres at the moment, but his tyres should really come into play around lap 23.
Yeah, but is that going to be too late? I don't know if he can stay. Jolly has overtaken again, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if it's too late or whether the pace will be that much different. But yellows again. Who? Oh, it's SRT Fury this time. And again, Ascari. How many cars have gone off at Ascari? Light Shock's gone off through Parabolica. He's hit the wall, he's lost his front wing and everything. He's actually into the pit lane.
He will likely put on a set of softs and just try and get as many points as possible for Team Colgate this weekend. With obviously no for Dow. Let's go on board with Nade 74, because he's not actually losing ground to Bamba Viking anymore. He has got Bamba Viking. It is a Haas Red Bull sandwich, and Red Bull being the innards, probably not where Nade really wants to be. Light Shock drops down probably, down to P12, so 2 places off points. He's going to want to push hard to get anywhere back, and
because he's got Leclerc ahead of him on 1 lap or softs too. Oh, he's a long way off of points. He's about 7 seconds, and then and that's Leclerc and Obi-Wan, so yeah.
So Nutters has just overtaken Nade 74 just before Parabolica. So DRS train now massively involved. Pred hasn't overtaken Jolly this lap, so it's back into Pred's court. The Haas driver of Nutters is... Oh, is it teamwork? Or has Nutters just overcooked it into turn 1 or into the chicane of turn 1? I think he has, because he's now dropped behind the Red Bull of Nade 74 again, and just behind them is Boris Letterbox.
So that strategy for Boris has worked, actually, isn't it? Because he's got the quickest tyre, which I don't know if it's actually going to last. I think it will. I'm pretty sure it will. Oh, it's only about 10 laps, so yeah, his tyre will last.
But I don't know how much stronger it's going to be when it gets to lap 26.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one. Whether he'll still have the grip, because I'm assuming he's probably taking quite a lot of life out of them. There's not even a shine on them anymore.
As Nade 74, maybe I was a couple of laps later on my prediction. He seems very racy now. He seems quicker than Bamba Viking coming into Parabolica. So maybe the hard compound tyres are coming to life over the mediums. It does still seem a little bit too soon, so maybe not, but they're going to have a DRS change. And here comes Nutters. Nutters is all over the back of that Red Bull. He's going to go around the outside heading into turn 1, but they're both going to have incredible... Oh, they don't go free wide through turn 1. That is nearly dangerous.
And yeah, you don't do that. But, I mean, they've come out of it okay. Nutters is, well, I mean, actually, they're all about half a second from each other. I mean, could Chris actually catch this battle as well? With how much they're fighting, it's possible. I don't know, it's 9 seconds and he's on the hards, but I guess Nate's on the hards in the middle of that. Is Boris going to give it a go down the inside? No. Boris is so much quicker at this point. As light strip goes fastest, but it's not.
Fred receives a 3 second time penalty.
So there we go. There,
so
Jolly I completely forgotten about that. Which does mean
Boris
that
has overtaken Nade as well.
Yeah, Boris is so much quicker at this point. No, again, this does currently mean that Jolly is actually in favour for winning. Especially if they swap this lap, it will be the same, because Pred didn't overtake him. Is Pred just gone off? I don't know if that counts as off the track, but he's used the tarmac. It's there. He's gone towards the pit wall. Jolly defending that.
Jolly defending as much as he can. It looks like it's...
We'll work it out again.
It's fine. I think Jolly will
Jolly's
be in the lead of the Grand Prix.
No. Yeah, he has. Fred probably shouldn't have overtaken them. Unless he's just going to try to pull away. Or does he not know that Jolly has he might not know that Jolly has a penalty. He might not have been paying attention to that.
He might not know. So the top 3 have penalties. Nutters is looking like he's going to overtake his teammate coming into turn 5 there, or was it 4? And he cuts his teammate off. Boris Letterbox has got through as well. Bamba Viking has struggled.
It hit Nade, and Nade's got front wing damage.
Oh no.
Bamba's bounced across the curb.
What does Nade do at this?
He's just got to keep pushing. I don't really know that there's anything else he can do. He might be able to hold off Chris, but obviously he's his teammate, so he might just let him through. I don't know. Or he might pit. Fastest lap,
Boris has overtaken Nutters now, so Boris is on charge. He's 6 seconds behind 998. He doesn't have a penalty, I don't believe, so plenty of time for him to get back onto the podium. Let's go on board with the leaders, because will Jolly overtake coming into this turn 1? Has he got enough? I don't think he's got enough. Jolly hasn't got enough in his tyres to overtake this lap.
And that means that Pred's ahead.
Is that Fury, I think, just drops behind, lets them through. So this battle, it's not going to be every lap they're overtaking now. I think it's just starting to settle down a little bit. Tyre wear, obviously Jolly's got the worst out of the two. He jumps over the sausage curb there at turns, I think it's 4 and 5, before the Lesmos. I don't really know what to say. Nutters is still holding on as best he can to Boris Letterbox, as unfortunately the Alfa Romeo is just letting everyone pass. It's not been his day at all. Nade 74 is stuck out, but I don't think that's the wisest. I think he should have, well, my personal opinion would have been to go into the pit stop. Let's have a look at Jolly, because he's all over the back, just heading into the Parabolica. I think this is a battle we have to stay with. Light Shock has managed to get past Leclerc somewhere, and now he's within a second of Obi-Wan Mahomey. So Light Shock is in a prime position to get 1 point at least for the Williams team.
He is catching his knee. I mean, those tyres. Light Shock gets a penalty. Pred and Jolly have swapped around again. So I don't know what this means, because are they going to keep swapping every lap again? I don't know.
I think Pred is going to do everything he can to get back in front of Jolly this lap.
If they do keep
4
swapping,
laps remaining,
then Pred will end up ahead, but it's going to be close. It's just slipstream battle, DRS battle, really.
Boris isn't gaining too much ground as Obi-Wan's gone.
Is that Ascari again? Sector 3?
Yeah, it is.
It is, isn't it? Oh. How many cars? I think I'm just going to watch this back and actually figure that out. How many cars have gone off at Ascari?
Too many. Pred is not that close, actually, to... Yeah, it's just... it's coming out of Ascari, so he's gone too far wide. And not lost it at the same curb as everywhere else, I don't think. He's just lost it a bit later on. Or he's tried to keep it, and it's just not good enough on his side. Pred is... I don't think Pred's close enough to make a move this lap. Jolly's gone super defensive into the start-finish straight. He's now gone back onto the racing line, which he's allowed to do because it's a braking line, and Pred's not been able to do anything.
It's also worth noting that while Jolly was behind Pred, Jolly's been saving up hers. He's got quite a lot more battery left than Pred, although he is going through it now, just trying to stay ahead. I guess Pred's got to use it to try to catch up, but it's going to be just so... I can't really predict it. I can't predict who's going to win. I have no idea.
It's an absolutely incredible battle between the two of them. I think Jolly is a little... reckless is the wrong word. Jolly's taking too much out of the tyres, a little bit on the curbs and everything. So I think it might play into Pred's hand because of the lap younger tyre. Nade isn't really doing anything. No, not Nade, sorry. Niels 998, sorry, is not really catching. But Light Shock and Leclerc has swapped positions again in the battle for P10. And welcome Nuthead, because Nuthead is in the Nuthead is in the lads. Nuthead is in the chat, not in the lads. Hopefully,
Nuthead is in the lads. Okay.
I don't know where. It's because he said "Hey up, lads." Pred is not going to be able to make a move on Jolly. So, the penultimate lap. Binary receives a 3-second time penalty. He's way back down in P13, so it's not going to be too much of a problem with him and SRT Fury, unfortunately. That's just a battle for pride between the two of them. Light Shock is all over the back of F1 Leclerc for the final point scoring position, and he has made the move, but I can't get my eyes off this battle for P1.
It is just so close. And Pep, I mean, there's so many battles everywhere. I think those soft runners now coming through and taking it to the Simple Crest and TR Pepsi even going together. And 10th to 13th, they're two separate battles. They're just such quick guys just racing for what isn't even really points. And Light Shock gets a point. Or Light Shock... Hang on, what's just happened? Or Light Shock swapped around. Sorry, there's a lot of switches. I thought Light Shock had dropped down to 12th. I thought he'd had a crash.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't know what was going on. And here comes Pred. Pred is going at him. Pred is saved, I think, for this lap alone. Let's have a look, see if he can get anything done. These mediums must be screaming at the Racing Point driver. Up the inside of Jolly. And it looks like it's a move done. Jolly's got on. So this is the last lap. Absolutely intense stuff now between the top two drivers. No idea really what to say on it at all. Nuthead has said in the chat, the free agents 1 and 2. Free agents are 1 and 2. Pred came in a little bit late to the season, so he could have been picked in the draft. But how no one picked Jolly is beyond me. It's because I know him from other leagues and stuff. I know Jolly was going to be an absolute force this season. Not as much as he has been, but I knew he was going to be at a force. But it's between him and Pred at the moment. Pred is a Monza god, and Jolly is pushing him all the way.
Oh, it's so close. They got one more straight, but Jolly hasn't done it under DRS, and with the same deployment, I don't know. Jolly's got more power there, but they're not going to run out. Oh, this is so close.
Oh,
it would have to be a full-on large into Parabolica, and it's not going to happen. I think Pred may have it.
It is possible to overtake up the inside at the exit of Parabolica if Jolly makes the corner right, but he hasn't. He's gone a bit too wide, Jolly. Pred's going to take victory at his home Grand Prix. And Jolly's got the wall. Nearly lost it out there.
He's gone then.
Pred,
luckily makes the finish.
For Pred. Jolly takes P2. Niels 998 rounds out the podium. Boris Letterbox comes home in P4. What a drive from him as Nutters finishes P5. Bamba Viking, solid drive from the Haas. Number 2 car, don't forget, is in P6. Sinful Chris will come home just ahead of his teammate Nade 74, but he will finish P9, whereas Nade is P7, TOR Pepsi P8, and Sinful Chris P9. Light Shock, if all goes well. Penalties will be...
Oh, he's crashed across the line. Sorry, Fury's crashed. I think his AI's crashed after the finish, actually.
Oh, okay.
So that's
an interesting one. So Light Shock and Leclerc, the battle for the final point. Who's going to get the final point? Penalties, I'm not too sure about. It will be not telling me at all.
I don't know.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's Light Shock.
Light Shock. Light Shock takes P2. As Nuthead says, 2-time Italian Grand Prix winner Pred. What a goat. I wouldn't say he's a goat, but I know what you mean. Brilliant there for AMS Pred. What a drive from him as well. Great to see him back in F1XL, and hopefully someone will snap him up if there is anything to go by. If there is any drives available, he's doing really well at the moment. Great drive from Pred. Great drive from Jolly as well. Those two really hit it out. And Nutters has said in the chat, what such a clumsy race. Wardell, thoughts on the race?
Oh, it's just slipstream battles the entire way. That's all it really is in Monza. That's how you overtake. But I don't know. I think that Pred and Jolly, just the whole race, pretty much swapping positions. I think Pred just played it perfectly in the end. Had to go for it on the final lap and just deployed his way to the flag, so Jolly couldn't really do anything. And Boris,
so we'll do
from
a
17,
quick rundown of the league.
I forgot where Boris started. Boris started last. And he's come to P4. That's incredible.
He has. It was a great drive from Boris. But I will do a quick rundown of the league. So it's AMS Pred leading the way in the racing point over the Mercedes of Jolly. In P3 was Niels 998. P4 was Boris Letterbox. Great drive from starting for P17. Nutters in P5. In P6 was his teammate Bamba Viking. P7 was Nade 74. P8 was TOR Pepsi. P9 Sinful Chris. P10 Light Shot getting 1 point for Team Colgate. P11 was F1 Leclerc. Binary was P12. SRT Fury P6 13, not P6. P7 14 was Obi-Wan Mahomey. P15 Superb Cam. 16th was Pred, and 17th was Straka R11. But obviously those guys at the end of it didn't really they DNF'd, so they don't classify as such. Okay, Wardell, I've asked you your thoughts on the race. Thoughts for the battle for the lead? For the lead.
Oh, I mean, I don't really know, because there wasn't really anything that I don't know. It was constantly, they're just going for it all the time, but they were swapping once a lap, not able to really overtake on any of the rest of the lap. They were both just saving hers and then deploying it at the exact same time. So the one with slipstream and DRS would overtake, and they just swap, and then swap again, and then swap again, and again. And yeah, I mean, not really getting in the way, and knowing that if they started really battling, then they were going to have issues with cars behind coming up. So it was both clever fighting, because not actually really getting engaged in a proper battle, but sort of swapping every lap until they knew that they really had to be the car ahead, obviously, for the finish. And well, Pred made that happen.
Pred was the man on form. Pred was the man in the know as well. Have you got a driver of the day for me today?
I mean, Pred's done incredibly well, but I'm going to have to say Boris. I know the strategy was different, but from last to fourth, not far off of the podium, I can't not really.
I'm going to have to go for the race winner. Those two, him and Jolly, definitely were incredible this weekend. Boris, don't get me wrong, was incredible as well. But yeah, Pred for me. If Jolly had won the race, it would have been Jolly. But those two out front just did it for me this weekend.
I mean, yeah, well, every battle. I mean, there's again pretty much as it is every race. There's so many different drivers you could pick as drivers today, because so many people have such just incredible drives.
Yep, and there was a few unlucky things as well. Nade 74 losing his front wing, or part of his front wing towards the end. He could have played a part in all this as well. Let's bring the, as much as I don't want to, let's bring the stream to a close. Have you got any final words for the viewers out there, Wardell?
Thanks for watching, and I mean, come back next week, because this is going to be more of this. Hopefully, because I mean, it's just incredible racing, isn't it? I mean, we've got Brazil next, so it's another absolute classic track, and I mean, we always just have great racing, no matter what track we're at, and if it's a classic track, it just helps. So Brazil is going to be very, very interesting. And could this also be the sort of start of Pred's real, I guess, attack at the top of the field?
It could be. We'll find out next week from F1XL. Obviously, as my co-commentator says, it is the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is an iconic track in the F1 calendar, and it is one of my favourite tracks ever. I've had some brilliant races there, and I know there has been some brilliant races in F1 here, and our old intro used to have a clip from Brazil as well. We've pretty much had it all here in Monza. We've had no rain, but that's about it. We've had incidents, we've had crashes, we've had a virtual safety car, but we have had an Italian winning the Italian Grand Prix. I say Italian, he's half Italian, he's half British, so he's one of the few that has a double home Grand Prix, and he's deserved it this weekend. But for now, we will be taking a little bit of a break, and we'll be back on Wednesday night for F1XL Extra, where we run down all the leagues where things have happened. Obviously, if you've watched it today, you know everything about F1, but we will have it from F2,